All right, y'all. So it's been a bit since we've had any new information or content drop in game. And I think a lot of people are questioning, when is this next stuff going to come out? When is like part two going to start? And that's what today's video is going to be about. We'll be talking about like when the next content will be releasing, when we should expect part two of the celebration to begin, and what content we may be able to see based off of the existing information we have. So again, on the 9th at 10 p.m. Pacific time, which at this point has been 5 days ago, we did receive the Extreme Z Awakenings for AGO Rose, Physical Vigil Blue, and then the new Divine Wrath Mortal Will stages. Pretty cool. I mean, if you want to count Dragon Ball Daima, that is another thing that happened. But ever since then, we haven't actually seen any like information or news or anything like that. I mean, the last time that the campaign information was updated was July 6th. So the last time we've had actual in-game new information about things that were upcoming was over a week ago, which is a little strange to me because again, we look back into the news specifically and all this stuff is releasing, but this is stuff we've known was going to release since the 6th, since the actual stream. We already knew about this. They announced this in the in-game news already. We already knew about the Goku Black clones. The Super EZAs were confirmed in the stream as well. Like, everything here has finally released, but we've known about this stuff. So it's kind of like weird that we're waiting a bit to receive any new information. I would have thought maybe this could have been a double data download week, but that's not gonna be the case. What they ended up hitting us with was, again, they usually do one data download a week, but unfortunately what happened is we got a data download at the beginning of last week, then we're gonna get a data download at the end of the week after, which is a pretty long drop. Now, in terms of content that I can make, it's not like I'm kind of like, oh, there's nothing to do at all. I'm running out of content. Life is over. But I found it a bit strange. Again, this is the international version's 10th anniversary. Like, this is the global anniversary. And usually during these anniversary sized campaigns, they drop content every 3-4 days. So I'm just like, I feel like a lot of people may be confused about what's going on, right? So again, we do have these dates confirmed to us by Rick. I say confirmed, but more so like, analyzed, investigated, kind of an understanding of what exactly is going on. So again, data download looks to be on July 16th JST, which would actually be tomorrow, right? Because JST the 16th would actually be the 15th here. So with all that being said, we should actually see some details on EZAs and things like that later tonight, if this is all going to be correct, because right now it's already the 15th. And then again, we know there's going to be data download on the 16th, which would be at the end of the day of the 15th in my time zone, Pacific time, right? So in about, I don't know, let's say, I think like around 12, 11, 10-ish hours from the time this video is posted, we will likely see EZA details tonight, right? Again, very, very important thing to point out. And the reason why we do know this is because the LR time Prime Battles TN stamina cost will actually go back to usual. So again, we had this Prime Battle TN campaign come out. He got his Extreme Z Awakening. Nothing crazy or anything like that, of course. In fact, actually, I think it would be in probably campaign rather than what's it called, the actual event information itself, potentially. I guess I'll bring up the event here just because it'll be a lot easier to talk about it through here, because I think it's in here specifically that the event's going to be up every single day all the way until the 16th Pacific time. Or yeah, I see right here the 15th Pacific time right here. This is when the event does leave on the 15th that Pacific time. So again, because the event is leaving there should be a data download this very day to change the stamina cost back. So that's something good to go ahead and know, that we should be getting some information very, very soon. New content likely on the 17th, of course, is when the home screen banner for the team battle event from the countdown does end. Of course, this again, this is kind of just lining up everything. We'll see information tonight, data download tomorrow, and then on the actual 16th, 16/17, depending on your time zone. That's when the new content will actually drop in game. Technically, the data download for some people may be on the 16th as well. It doesn't have to be just in Japan, but yeah. Now, something else I do want to point out. Not only does the home screen music end on the state mentioned by Proton, but this is also when the home screen banners for the Global Dokkan Campaign Special Battle in Part 1 itself end on the Global. Might be another experimental thing because usually Part 2 would start days before the banner. A lot of people were thinking, including myself on the Last Level Super Podcast episode, Part 2 would start this week, right? Because usually what they do during these celebrations is they have Part 2 drop, and then a few days after Part 2 drops, we get the banner. So what I was thinking was going to happen was we would get content drop, like literally would have been today, right? Like some content drop, like EZA details yesterday, content drop today. At the end of this week, we would have like Part 2 starting. Then like next week, a week after or so, we would actually have the characters drop for Part 2. That's what they usually do. But what it seems like they might end up doing instead is having a data download for the second half of Part 1, in a sense, where I think we'll see some Extreme Z Awakenings, like actual EZA new stages this week, again like the 16th, 17th. Then next week they're gonna drop Part 2 with the Part 2 LR banners at the same time, because again, Super Dynamic does end at that time. Proton says, I expect Don Don to play. We know GT's coming, right? So because of this, home screen like banners ending, which is basically like this. It's the actual, like when you're on the actual home screen of Dokkan, and then this little like image at the bottom of the screen is showing, basically showing Part 1 Global Dokkan Campaign. That's essentially what is kind of going to be changing, right? And I believe if we go over to here, it's literally this banner that will be on the home screen, more or less. So when that obviously leaves, a Part 2 version should go up, because it's not like, oh, Part 1's gonna end, the celebration's over. You know, that's not what's gonna be going on here. So again, we kind of have a really good idea about Part 2, which will start about the 24th, 23rd, depending on your time zone. So the timeline is, I think tonight we see details, tomorrow we see data download, or I guess you could say tomorrow is the data download and details. The 16th, 17th, depending on your time zone, is when the actual characters or events, whatever is going to be coming out, will drop. Then a week after that, we'll start seeing some reveals. Maybe even later on this week, we could see like an announcement, like maybe over the weekend, 19th, 20th, we get some sort of promotion video showing the card arts. And then on the 22nd, we actually get a live stream showing us the details for what the characters are going to be doing. So that's pretty cool, right? And again, in terms of what we could see this week, I think my very, very big likely guess here is that we'll be seeing EZAs for the Future Saga category. I think, you know, we'll be continuing to get some Future Saga stuff. Again, we got the Super EZAs for Physical VB and Age of Rose. I do expect Extreme Z battles and not like Super EZAs though. I think there is obviously the chance that we get like between these three, right? Tech, Fusion Zamasu, and Sword of Hope Trunks, and Blue Vegeta. If I'm gonna guess who would Extreme Z Awaken, like if we're gonna get a Super EZAs, it would probably be the Sword of Hope Trunks and the Fusion Zamasu. This Blue Vegeta would actually be a really nice EZA right now, though. Like I'm quite excited for this guy's EZA with the new event out right now, because he does debuff Goku Black passively. He debuffs Zamasu's defense, of course, passively as well, and he's giving the super class Rainbow God's defense buff, right? The return 50% raise. Like, this guy could be really good right now. Sword of Hope Trunks is not really like lowering attack or anything like that, but you know, maybe they can give him that part of his passive. Fusion Zamasu doesn't actually lower like anyone else besides super class attacks, so not really a big deal. This would be the guy I'm excited for, actually, but again, I don't actually think any of these three will get their Super EZAs right now. It feels like they did the Super EZAs first, and then we'll see an actual 30 stone Extreme Z battle stages. I feel like it's very prominent to me that these two would get their Extreme Z Awakenings. Again, two big LR EZAs. I think people are super excited for these guys again. the thing about these super like old Super EZA characters is, I've had a lot of people tell me they kind of don't care that much, which is a bit funny. I think for a lot of us longer time players, it's like, dude, physical VB Super EZA, Age of Rose Super EZAs, like those are exciting characters to get their Super EZAs. But now it's, I think a lot of modern players like who have started in the next day, like the last day, or I say day, what the hell, in the last like 2-3 years, like these guys have premium animations. These guys are like more modern Kit and Dokkan. People have actually played during the time that these guys are out. And again, I think Vegeta and Trunks could be really cool. We have the Trunks part of the passive for the new Goku and Vegeta, right? I mean, this guy, the Vegeta portion does support Trunks characters 80% attack and defense, so this could be really interesting, where again you have Vegeta in slot 2 and then this guy in slot 1. I think kind of is like the idea, so that we'll be able to actually have a reason to use Vegeta more, I feel like, in the card, which I think is nice, right? Oh, again, Vegeta as a third attacker gets this huge buff, but he's still actually pretty good as the second attacker in the turn. So I could see us actually having a reason to switch into this Vegeta side of the card, especially if this Vegeta and Trunks are really good, which I do anticipate them to be very powerful. Again, they have a really good baseline kit. Dokkan Fest LRs for the most part end up being really good. Even Full Power Frieza, Namek Goku, like they were unreleased, a little shaky, but once the end of the celebration came around, they were actually very prominent in difficult content. Frieza still kind of needs a new team, but Namek Goku ended up being pretty nice for some of these longer content events. Like, you could run him in the Jiren fights, Battle Hardened, or not Battle Hardened Foes, he wasn't good in, but Festival of Battles, he was really good in. So like, there's a few options, but again, I think this character has like a really good chance of being just great, just based off of the initial design that these characters are able to do. So fingers crossed that these guys end up being really good. Again, and that will give us more of a reason to switch to this guy, because I think one of the big issues with this character that kind of sucks for me is not like, they're bad or anything, but I don't really feel a reason to switch off Goku 9 out of 10 times. I'm like, why would I switch from Goku to Vegeta when this Goku is like one of the better slot 1 characters in the game? And we take a look at this team, not even just like Future Saga, but like, let's say Fuse Fighters, for example. Like, you could run the God Super Saiyan 4s as like leaders in slot 1 early on, but like that's depending on the situation. You could probably throw Rose in the team, but he's missing like big bad bosses and some of these things, and like there's not really another super strong definite slot 1 character throughout like most of the event, unlike this Blue Goku. But then we get Vegeta and Trunks, and you're actually able to potentially use Vegeta more often, which I find really nice. And that's the same with this guy. I actually really hope he becomes another slot 1 character, because of, I think I'm in the wrong page, this S tier Goku Black. It's the same thing for me. He's such a powerful, oppressive slot 1 character that I feel like 9 out of 10 times, I just don't really find myself switching into Zamasu. Like, if I'm under 60% HP and, I could just switch into Zamasu, use his nuke ability, like, with the active skill, he does crazy damage, right? But, like, Rose is just super important for being a slot 1 character in the Super Bosses team. Like, you have some characters you can use sometimes, like maybe Broly Trio at times. You could get away with maybe hits. Agil Jiren Standby at times, but again, it's kind of like, Goku, Agil Goku Black Rose, hey, you could, but it's a little risky. This guy has a design where it's like he wants a lot of attacks to be received. He wants to receive attacks literally all here. Unarmed super attack counter, 5 attacks in battle / within the turn, 5 attacks here to build up damage reduction. Like, this guy gets a lot of stats when, like, a lot of abilities when you're receiving an attack. What I would hope is that they would just kind of change this guy to similar to Great Ape LR Vegeta. Because we see Great Ape Vegeta is a character that got changed for basically being a slot 2 character to being a very, very powerful slot 1 character. Where is this guy at? Yeah, like they did this guy's EZA really well, because you see he got a lot of these stats when attacking, he did have a part of his passive when guards activated, but it's only attack. But then you take a look here, he gets damage reduction, he gets way more start of turn defense, he gets defense and damage reduction when guard is activated or as the first attacker, and after guard is activated he still got a lot of stats after attacking, but he was more than good enough as a slot 1 character still. I kind of hope that they do a similar design fashion to this Fusion Zamasu. Maybe give him a passive if he's like the first or second attacker in the turn. Allow him to have like 50% baseline reduction, and then this build up within the turn would be good enough for me. Give him guard, right? I think there's a lot of things that they could do for this character to make him really interesting. Or even if he's like 70% reduction and then builds up to 80%. Like, imagine how good that would be. That would be really insane. And then honestly, they could just change all this, like when attacking at a certain key or when receiving an attack at the certain key. Like, that would be perfectly good with me too, right? They could easily kind of make an adjustment to that, because there's characters that do have those type of abilities. So again, the point is that you kind of get this guy out, and then you could use Zamasu more often, which Zamasu is really good. And if I'm not mistaken, yeah, he actually shares more links with Zamasu than Goku Black, because they share godly power, 5% or 15% attack link. That would also be like a little nice thing to add to this team. So anyways, that's kind of my hopes for these EZAs here, and I do think that these two will EZA. Any other potential options? I don't really see any. I don't expect these guys to EZA at all during this celebration scene with these two. I mean, we could see Super EZA Tech, Goku Black, and Zamasu. Imagine they're like, yeah, we're dropping all 3 of these guys. That would be crazy. That would be really insane. Very, very crazy. But yeah, there's actually one extra thing I should bring up in regards to this too. I also do want to bring up this. This is not like 100% because they could always put these characters in different sections, but this applies that either an LR EZA or 3 Super EZAs are missing, which would technically imply just 1 LR EZA or 3 Super EZAs. There is technically the chance that they just give us 3 Super EZAs for part 3. I don't personally think I would mind it. I just feel like a lot of people would not, like, a lot of people probably want like a 30 stage, or not 30 stage, but like a EZA that will give us 30 stones, right? It depends on what content they drop, but there is very much the chance that these 3 do EZA right now, because I did forget there is actually, again, technically only 1 LR EZA slot between the Blue Goku Vegeta and the Rosy Goku Black and Zamasu in here. Not that, let's say, they can't have Vegeta and Trunks in this spot, and then like LR Fusion Zamasu after Champa. Like, that very easily could be the thing here, but all these characters are grouped together, so it would be really interesting. Especially since, again, all these Future Saga characters, again, are right next to each other. So at the same time, I mean, there's no other Future Saga characters that awaken, because yeah, these characters, the clones, are not awakenings. They're just drops of characters. So we'll see what happens. I did ask Twitter as well, you know, what are you guys doing during waiting here? Superman, really good movie, guys. If you have not seen Superman, I almost want to make a review of it, but it would do like 2 views. So unfortunately, I'm just letting you know, if you haven't seen Superman, really good. Playing Persona 5X. I stopped playing Persona 5X, funny enough. I kind of, not for any particular reason, I just kind of have been busy with Dokkan stuff, right? Good luck at the new event. I mean, I think there's plenty of older characters that can actually clear this new event. So, working or tired from your day off work, it's Legend Space Time Duel. Again, I just kind of just seeing what the community's doing, watching Dexter. Actually, I should also watch Dexter myself. Superman, really good. These edits right here for Dokkan card arts, neon types, that looks pretty cool. That's really sick, actually. Damn, these are sick as hell. Geek with Superman. Again, I talk with Geek about Superman all the time. It's just too good. It's just too good, man. But let me know what you guys are doing this week while we're waiting for EZAs. Again, we know that EZAs are coming. I almost forgot about this though. So honestly, now I'm thinking we're gonna see the 3 Super EZAs. That's gonna be my guess. Yeah, I think we'll see the 3 Super EZAs. I was talking about Vegeta Trunks, but I mean, this is a Trunks card. What would this guy do with the Super EZA? He's supporting defense. This won't change. Would they make him a slot 1? They could do anything with this guy. They could make him a slot 1 if they wanted to. Trunks is a nuker character. I mean, this is not going to be difficult to get either. Like, again, we've seen what they've done with these nuking characters. Buhan and Hexal, dude, are unbelievably good. Like, both Buhan and Hexal, like, they were crazy, right? As Orb Chain, like, look at their, like, look at the amount that they got added to their kit. This guy, I feel like this guy Super Z will be really crazy. Because both of these two, like, as nuker characters, like, again, he already has type keys for changing and Rainbow Orb changing in the kit. Like, they could make this guy really insane. He's super effective too. Like, I could see like multiple supers and things like that. He does give super class allies buffs on the super attack effect. I think this guy will, again, like I said, will be really good here because the Goku Black and Zamasu event, like, he's gonna be really good for taking down Zamasu while also holding down Goku Black from doing a lot of damage because of that debuff. Like, they make this like 30% and then just have him do mega massive damage. That'd be really cool too. So who knows? Putting my hands up in the air. I mean, LR Vegeta and Trunks not EZAing here would be super strange though. I guess they could like hold off and infuse Zamasu, but man, I don't know. I mean, we'll see. Again, this is not completely indicative of, like, you know, what has to happen. It's just kind of a hint towards things. But details should be tonight anyway, so not much stressing up about it. I'll catch you guys in the next video, and peace out.